Hello, YouTube. If you like movie reviews, trailer reactions, video game let's play, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you.
And hello, YouTube. It's your boys again. You like my shirt? It's very, I don't know, it reminded me of things.
Microbes?
Yeah, something. Or something they would wear in the late 80s.
Do you like my shirt?
What?
I'll give you. Yeah, can you read it?
And now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
All right. Who knows what the answer to the riddle is? What is this jersey from? Put it in the comments.
Yep. So we're going to react to The Thing.
Yes.
One of Mitch's faves.
Childhood fave. My whole family's faves. This is like pretty much a Christmas movie for us. We put it on regularly as like when we've got nothing else to do. Let's put on The Thing. It's in that top 10 list of like, let's put on The Thing because we just absolutely love it.
Yep, I've seen it once, like 5 or more years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So there's quite a lot I don't remember from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see how we go. And let's get it on, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's it.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
Diabetes.
All right. So here we are. We just watched it.
I'll let you go on because I've seen this film a million times. You go.
Yeah, well, I kind of want to talk about the ending. I'm still thinking about it.
Of course, everybody does. The fan theories.
My current thing is if the black fella, what's his name again? Charles, and the main guy,
MacReady.
If Charles thought MacReady, so MacReady would think Charles is okay, because why wouldn't Charles kill him? Because now at this point they've got nothing to hide.
And he's holding the flamethrower as well, right? So
yeah, he's the one in power. If he's wouldn't he just want to kill him because he's because right now all he needs to do is survive until the rescuers come, and Charles would just be in his way.
Maybe
at this point. That's one thing. Two, so Charles should assume that he's okay, but then again, it's technical. I don't know. Well, what's your theory?
I've got my own fan theories. Like I said, I think Blair was the Thing the entire time, even when we thought he was the good guy. I think it was his whole scheme the whole time to get himself in an isolated place so he can just self-prepare himself to try and get to the mainland.
Right.
Because the Thing in himself knew that regardless of his situation in the group, that Kurt Russell was aware of it. The other scientists were aware of this thing's capabilities, that they would eventually prevent communications, prevent travel with the helicopter and all that. So, yeah, that was my fan theory. But to the ending between Charles and MacReady, if one of them is the Thing or not, it's not my fan theory. It's someone else's, to which I believe, because for me the evidence is all there, that Charles was the Thing. And that little exchange they have of do we trust each other and all that. MacReady gives him that bottle of his whiskey or whatever the hell it is. Charles drinks it, and then it cuts back to MacReady, and MacReady has a little giggle, and then just rests his eyes. This is the fan theory, which I believe is MacReady, that bottle. It wasn't whiskey. It was the Molotov concoction they had ready to light up the whole camp. There's a few of them left over.
I see.
And he's given it to Charles, and Charles has drinking it. And because he's the Thing, even though it imitates perfectly, it doesn't know the differentiation between gasoline and whiskey.
Right, so I just thought it was whiskey.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
But
and that was like, haha, gotcha.
But so it was MacReady's way of saying
testing Charles to see if he's the Thing or not. And that little giggle is like, ha ha ha, I know you're the Thing, but he's in a situation right now where he too has to buy himself a little bit of time to try and get the advantage. We don't know. The interpretation of how that night ends
Yeah.
is it's unannounced because the things now, sure, they can wait for the rescue, but that rescue could come in weeks to months, right? And like what Kurt Russell's character McCready said earlier, because they've prevented its plans of escape, the thing's goal is to basically go into hibernation again, go back into the ice, because it can survive
Yeah.
and wait for someone else to come along and dig it out and rescue it or whatever, right? So that's what Charles, aka the Thing, was just basically doing at that point, I think. Because it's one, if they have to escape, McCready's the kind of guy that would have the capability to get them out of that situation, so keep them alive,
Yeah.
until the right time is to strike when the Thing is now back in a public area, back on the mainland, back where like it could actually infect the entire world, right?
Okay. So when do you think McCree thought Charles was it? From
When you offered him that bottle
when was that exactly?
at the very end there.
Oh, at the very end. I thought it was like a bit earlier.
That's at the very end there, when they're face to face with each other. He offers him that bottle because we saw them like blowing up stuff. We saw them like had like makeshift Molotovs, and I assume that that bottle he had, because when he's walking after killing what we thought was Blair, the main villain, he's got that bottle, and of course on appearances it looked like he's just gonna drink himself to his death. But my theory is that was a remaining Molotov.
I see. Now I was a bit confused because the way McCree was acting towards Charles, McCree was kind of iffy on Charles a bit.
It was. They're both like, are you the Thing? Are you the Thing?
Yeah, even before when he was tied up, he didn't really trust Charles.
Oh, yeah.
He probably kind of. I thought maybe that the scene you're talking about would have also happened earlier.
Because when it got to the final four of them and they knew Blair was the remaining Thing and they were trying to sabotage his plans by blowing up the whole thing, there's a scene where, well, there's a dialogue where Charles disappeared. And he says, like, where were you, Charles? Charles says, I was chasing Blair into the storm. That was his excuse. So it's like, really? So what happened between you and Blair? Like, you know, did Blair find you, turn you? It's just like there's a lot of paranoia and suspicion, right? It just leaves you doubting everything. You can't trust anyone because where's the proof?
Yeah. Nah, man, like it seems like they use sound design from like the 50s. The way like the wind sound, like that howling wind. I feel like that was purposely done. Like that's how wind used to sound like in old times.
Well, this was 1982, so.
But I feel like it was still more old timey the way they used the wind. Like they did it on purpose to make it seem freaky. Or do you think everything was even like some of the sound effects was done in a really scary way?
Of course, yeah. This is the thriller horror. So
in more of an old school, like how was this actually filmed in Antarctica?
No, I don't think so. There was a giant studio.
See scary movies from the 50s by the sound and the visceralness. They almost use that as well, referring to like old 50s. Because I feel like they use the best parts of different millennia. Even like some ways the way they show the shot, it seems very like timeless kind of thing. Like it seems like something you would see in the 30s that's very scary. So I feel like they used a lot of things from different millennia in this.
Funny mentioning that, a lot of people don't realize that this is actually a remake of a movie that was actually made, I think, in the 40s. And it had a different title. I think it was like called The Man from the Snow or something like that. And this is basically a retelling, a completely different retelling of that original film where a bunch of American scientists find something in the snow, it gets reanimated and starts killing them all. Like, that was basically Frankenstein's monster up in the Antarctic. This one, they turned it into more scientific, a more, extraterrestrial biological creature that could, like, infect and imitate you. So a lot of people don't realize that this was actually one of the most successful remake movies ever made.
Yeah.
But going to your sound thing, a lot of studios, especially in the 80s, come to like have stock standard effects. So for a long period, like a good 3 decades, probably 4 decades of movie making, a lot of studios had their own implemented stock sound and all that stuff that they use repeatedly in films. And you see that more so than anything in like the turn of the 70s into the 80s. Like it's where the iconic Wilhelm scream comes from. Like iconic sound designs and sound effects. That
And
get reused
how about the
in films.
punch?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's very 70s Batman kind of
I was
sound.
waiting for the pet caption. Bam!
Yeah.
But then there's also the other theory that you said it yourself, and I say it every time too. There is no freaking way McCready could have survived that explosion.
I
He was
see.
literally right there when the detonators all went off. There's no way he could have outran them. Like, he's not the Flash.
See, yeah, but it could be one of those things in film. Sometimes it's like, that's not realistic.
The plausibility.
But because it's a film, they kind of just like let it get away with it. And if you look too deep into it, you'll think, oh, statistically, it would have taken him
Of course.
2 extra minutes to get that, but we don't know.
Of course. No, you can't really look into it. So that's the other fan theory, that in that final confrontation with him and Charles, McCready's the thing, and Charles is actually the human. And McCready starts giggling and all that because he's like, ha 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 ha, he believes me. So we'll just wait it out and see what happens. You know, I agree, but I don't agree with that one only because the theory that I believe in with Charles being the thing, it's got a lot more layers, and it goes back to what I was telling you about. If you watch the film again and pay attention to certain things, such as like the clothing that's on the racks, it differs. And it's like, hold on, isn't that guy's character's jacket? It's gone from this scene. Why? And all that stuff. Some guy on YouTube, I've forgotten which channel he was, but he did a deep research into this film, every shot for shot, and even to like who had the keys to get to the blood.
If you can send it to me, and I'll link it in the
gotta find it, yeah.
description here. I
gotta
was
find
thinking
it.
about using some of the footage from that guy's video and put it here, but I'll just refer you down there.
Yeah, either.
Okay.
But like, yeah, he had a huge, deep analysis on the film, and it's like it opened my eyes because, again, this is one of these. Just like right now, and even then, I was like, "Oh, I did not notice that last time. I did not notice like certain things this guy's just done a huge detective investigation on." So it's like it's broadened my eyes knowing that final outcome. Yeah, I strongly do believe that's the situation that's occurring. This child has been tricked, you know, thinking that it's just been offered to drink some whiskey.
So you've watched it 30 times. Is there anything in this sitting that you kind of noticed?
No,
No? Okay.
this was more for your viewing pleasure.
Yeah, and I feel fortunate because I watched maybe, actually, I think it was 10 years ago when I watched this, so I don't remember the order of things.
You
So
probably
that's-
watched it when the prequel was made, yeah?
I don't even remember there was a prequel.
Yeah. There was a prequel back in 2010, and it talks about the events that happened in the Norwegian
Okay,
side.
it could have been then. I
Yeah.
think I watched that, then I would have watched the original after.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't remember the order of things at all. I thought that guy, the tall guy with the kind of the old 50s cop suit.
Yeah, with the
on,
gun, yeah.
I thought he was the one
Copper.
that with the blood scene. I thought he was the one that turns.
Okay.
So yeah, I honestly don't remember any of the film. And yeah, it takes you for a ride. You think, yes, especially when people start realizing, oh shit, like it could be any one of us. I could see people in the audience back in the day would have been just absolutely on the edge of their seat. Like, who is it?
Trying to do their own investigating, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And even now, like, people are still investigating it to this day. So it's like,
Yeah. I would love to be in a cinema with a bunch of people who've never seen the film at all or know anything of it, just to like enjoy their reaction to it, because it's one of those films that like it's aged, but it's aged
it's fine wine.
gracefully. Like the prosthetics involved in it are awesome.
Jesus!
Poor dogs. Only like one sequence with stop animation, and it's because the animation was impossible to do prosthetically, which is just the tentacle.
Yeah, I saw
grabbing
that.
The
I
detonator.
was about to say that's grabbing the detonator. Okay, there's another scene I'll put in here of it was the first time they witness the monster, and he starts spilling out tentacles. No, it was the dog. He starts spilling out tentacles, and there's kind of a bit of a wide shot on it, and it seemed to be jiggering a bit. I just feel like it would be impossible to have all those prosthetics and all the different things happening without some sort of stop motion.
Okay.
But yeah, so maybe the ages to do all those different things. The CGI wasn't even out. I think the first film maybe was roughly this time, but
84, I think, was the first film that had CG. It was like 2 years later.
did this movie have any CG in it?
No. I mean, define CG. Like, the opening
CG,
sequence has the spaceship crashing onto Earth.
Oh, of course.
I mean, I don't think that was CG. That probably would have been a little disc over projected on the screen. So
yeah, see, I don't really. Okay, I guess that's CG, but I don't really count that as CG. Anything that's real, to me, is real enough.
Yeah.
I guess I say CGI as computer
computer generated. Yeah, graphics. That wasn't really computer generated. It was still models that they add onto layers of the film and all that stuff. So yeah, it doesn't count. No, so no CG. No, this, like I said, this was the end of that era when it came to all that prosthetic practical effects, and it's one of the fine examples of the best, especially that whole sequence on the operating theater when the doctor is like doing the defibrillating and all that stuff, and it opens up this giant jaw thing, and then when the fire starts burning the creature, it starts to freak out and escape piece by piece. It's like
yes,
so freaking well done. And I remembered what it was, especially in that scene, what they used. It's like, that gelatin stuff, when you crack it, it lights up.
yes, yeah.
There was tons and tons of that stuff.
You crack it and then it turns into like a liquid.
It kind of glooms for a little while. Yeah.
Man, I thought that shit was like unhealthy for you.
It is.
It's like slightly radioactive. That's why it glows.
Yeah. A bunch of other stuff too that they use, but yeah. There's like a giant unroasted turkey half the time, but yeah. This to me is a classic. And,
oh, absolutely.
And,
like the set seems like it's been lived in for years.
Yeah,
like there's no sign of like, oh, this was probably built like recently or anything. They put so much attention to detail
for sure
to make it look like very realistic too. Where it's you could tell that they put a lot of effort in making sure it's like they've been living in it for a long time. And I like how they were isolated. So sometimes in movies it's like, well, why couldn't you just, call up help or leave? Yeah. But if they did, they'll die. Yeah. So it was a good place to have the set where they were isolated and they couldn't call for help. Or the help would have died by the time they got there. So they had to wait weeks or until spring, basically.
Yeah, that's what it said. I don't know what the rescue distress call would be. I mean, like, if you don't think there's anything to be alarmed about, who's going to come looking, And, so they basically wanted to, like, have the isolation of Alien set on Earth. And other than a submarine, the best place you can put that is up in the Antarctic, on a research facility. So I love all those ticks. Like, even though I know the film now, I know exactly beat by beat, there's still those moments where it's like the group are all there looking at each other. And you feel like the distrust, like, I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with this guy, but it's like, I'm keeping my eye careful on him.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts about it. It's those human interactions. It's like, it's like the classic Western, like, looking at each other.
The standoff.
The standoff
look. For sure. Yeah, man. And, there's a reason why this film is always looked at as one of the best sci-fi horrors of all time.
Just wondering, was there any pushback on it? Because in these days, any movie that comes out, they're going to be like, oh, they tried to be too much like this. But I don't know how it was back in the 80s, but Alien came out, and then this came out after Alien.
Alien, I think, was 79, and this was 82.
So would they be like, they're trying to be too much like Alien, or was this just well received?
I was well received. I don't think the film is anything remotely similar to Aliens for them to think like they're copy and pasting.
See, that's my current brain, where if anything is even slightly close to something else, you're going to hear like some drama about it.
In this day and age, they probably would get backlash. But back then, I don't think so. I think people felt that this was like an original take.
There's no women.
Yeah.
Where's the women?
Yeah. Yeah, no need for it, man. This wasn't one of those kind of films. I mean, you had the Chess Wizard. That was a cheating bitch, apparently. That's about it.
The what? The chess wizard?
The chess computer.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning. That was the only chick in the whole film. And maybe the dog was a female. I don't know. But
Oh man, I was hoping the doggo would come back, but
nah, you thought it was like an innocent bystander or something. Yeah, that it witnessed something evil.
yeah, but especially when you said in the start of the film,
Best actor.
yes.
I
So I'm like, oh, this dog's gonna like be the one that freaking saves the day or something.
Right. No, man, I love how they got it trained, man. It just like it's a dog, but it doesn't behave like a dog. So you're like immediately on edge, just having to like just stand there and stare. You know, just stuff like that is so ominous.
Yeah, such an ominous stare.
Yeah. And then like Clark, he puts the dog in the kennel with the other dogs, and it's clearly behaving differently to them. It's like get in there. So it takes 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. And it sits down and just stares blankly. Like it's such a well trained dog, and anybody in the audience be like, "What is wrong with this thing?" You know, either assuming that it's seen trauma or this thing isn't a dog. You know, either you flip a coin on it, and that's why I feel like its performance is just perfect. Best actor in the whole film.
Okay, anything else?
Diabetes. Yes. No, we've already talked about Burke.
Yeah, he was hilarious when he was in the chainsaw, and so you're getting some of you actually like kind of learning a bit more what's going on while he's going, hey, the fucking,
Yeah.
and he's like almost like a funny moment.
Yeah, it's funny. Blair, sorry, not bloody whatever I said. Blair. Yeah, like
He was, yeah,
it's either he was completely aware of what was going on the entire time and was like pretty much the brains of the outfit that just went a bit crazy, or he was the brains of the outfit and was the thing the entire time. That's how I see it. That he was put on this whole charade to get exactly what he wanted, which is them to put Blair in a confined space by himself. So he could not be disturbed and he can do what he wanted behind the scenes without being noticed. You know what I mean? That's how I read it. So like at the beginning of the film when McCready has flown off, they're going to check out what happened to the Norwegian camp. And we get that sequence where the dog is just strolling around. And then it looks in one room and we see the silhouette of a shadow of a man. And then the dog enters the room and then it fades to black. We're supposed to go, who was that person? This dog's interacted with one of these people in this facility. Who is it? Who is it? I think the whole time that was Blair. That's my theory on it. It was Blair the entire time. He was the second infected aside from the dog. And yeah, he put on this whole theatrics just to like, because he knew the best way out of this was not to be leading the charge and telling the people to escape, but just let them basically go crazy on each other and kill each other and just be a bench warmer, so to speak. That's my theory on it.
Whose idea was it to go and check out the base?
It was the doctor.
All right, so it wasn't Charles. It wasn't his idea.
Charles, no.
Because, like, yeah, why would it? If he was the thing, he would have no interest to go check it out. So I was curious. If it was Charles' idea, I'd be like, why would he be the thing? What was that big monster in the end? Was that the doc?
That was Blair.
Blair, okay. Because we didn't see him again, so I was confused.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It validates my theory because it was the dog that infected Blair, and then it was Blair that likely infected someone else. And then we saw Blair infect, oh man, I've seen this film a million times and I'm forgetting the names.
Blair infect.
The cop, the one that had the gun, and then he killed the cook. And then when we see that giant deformed version of him, it's like he was kind of unmutated, separated. So we see like the dogs that he like infected, and we see some of the other people infected, and a little bit of Blair's face was left over. It didn't need to hide anymore, right? Because McCready was the last person, so it was like, all right, this is my quote-unquote real form, to which the creature doesn't actually have a real form. It just genetically copies everything that it touches and all that stuff. So for what we saw, it was probably another organism that it imitated on another planet. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay, I'm trying to find any nitpicks. Is there any nitpicks like story or plot inconsistencies?
I've had this discussion with Daniel, my brother, who's a big fan of this film too. It's not a nitpick or like a problem with the narrative, but it's the doctor's nose piercing.
Oh, okay.
He's a 50-something-year-old man with this like nose ring.
I don't think I noticed that.
It's like it's on his nostril, and luckily he's not in the film. But we're like, dude, why was that a choice of character? Because I sincerely doubt the real person would have a nose piercing.
Right.
And
So it was a specific choice they made.
it was because at the time, me and Daniel came to this conclusion. Maybe there was at one point gonna be like a visual cue for you to realize, hold on, that's not the guy because he's got the piercing in the wrong nostril or something. And our theory was kind of proven correct that maybe that was deleted because in the prequel movie that came in 2010, there's a sequence where that happens. They explain that this thing can't imitate metal, so people with like like metal implants and all that stuff,
Yeah.
it can't duplicate it. So there was I think one guy who had an earring, and then it was on the other side, and all that stuff. So I have a feeling they originally wrote something to be a plot device in this film, but it was probably written out for like time restraints or something.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, how about this? I have a small theory.
Okay.
But I need to know, was there anyone else with a nose ring, or was it just Blair?
I'm pretty sure. No, not Blair. It was the doctor.
The doctor, yeah.
The one that lost his arms when he was doing the defibrillator.
Yeah.
As far as I could tell and remember, it was only the doctor with the nose piercing that was like a queer visual.
Well, I was thinking
thing.
maybe it was
Clear visual.
maybe they wanted you to the director wanted you to know like it's not normal for a 50-year-old to have a piercing. So maybe it was the thing trying to be like, oh, this is what people do, right? And then puts a nose piercing because he's
Not
seen
a bad
it before.
theory. It's not a bad idea.
But because there was no other piercings, then why would the thing know to reference a nose piercing?
And also, too, he was wearing the piercing before the thing started taking over everything.
That too. So my theory's gone to gears.
But it is a weird thing to look at, right? A
Yeah.
50-something-year-old man with a piercing right here is so, like,
Yeah,
weird.
you'll think now it'd be kind of normal because, like, oh, he's just like a 70s punk rocker.
Leftover.
But it's like, no, that guy's, what, in the 30s?
Yeah, he was probably in World War II, so it's like, what?
They didn't have piercings in World War II. Like,
Yeah, in terms of narrative, I don't really have any issues with it at all. Like, I mean, there's the few cliches where, of course, a character goes off by themselves, or the one scene with Windows, he freezes the chance to like kill the thing, allowing the thing to get a hold of him. Other than that, I don't really have anything issued with the narrative because I feel like it's written well, clever,
yeah.
and for the most part, the things and the choices that people do in the film are smart.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was trying to nitpick, like, oh, maybe that was too tropey that this happened, or like, well, why wouldn't he assume that he's it because he did this weird thing?
Yeah.
But I couldn't really see that. And I was trying to pay attention to the movie, every little part, and it was hard for me to determine, like, oh, was that sus? Was that not sus? Like, Charles going out was a bit sus. Also, they found, okay, I'm a bit confused. They found the piece of clothing. Oh, who found originally the piece of clothing? He had the
cook.
The cook. Then what happened right after that? I thought he would let everyone know that, look at this clothing.
Well, he kind of did, but it was kind of like irrelevant at that point. They didn't realize how the thing imitates people. But when it attacks them and copies them, it basically has to invade their body, right? So it tears through their clothing.
Yeah.
If not, it'll somehow go into their mouth or like whatever. So they found this torn up piece of clothing without a name on it. And then later in the film, they find another piece of torn clothing and it's got MacReady's name on it. So we're led to believe that MacReady has been taken over. But it was, in my opinion, that was Blair trying to like make them again paranoid and assume someone else.
Someone else that isn't.
Yeah, because that sequence where like MacReady's like, we gotta check my hut because I left the lights off and now the lights are on. So the only person at the time that could have had the time and the freedom to do that without being noticed was Blair.
Okay.
So he was again trying to like set up this like whole fraudulent thing to like make sure no one's blaming him but everyone else.
Right. And was everyone already infected from the beginning, or did people get infected one by one over the movie?
Again, that's another way of interpreting it, but I'd say it had to be one by one because it's not an immediate thing to take hold of, right? It takes a couple of minutes, let alone probably an hour. I don't know what the time frame is, but I'd say a couple of minutes this thing really needs to be in isolation to completely imitate you.
Yeah, no, I think that's really important because finding McCree's shirt, if everyone was infected in the beginning, then McCree wasn't it, because why would your theory of his shirt being out there as like bait would mean that McCree, that like they're almost against McCree sort of thing.
Yeah, turning
but it would
against
make
him.
more sense that it's one by one. Yeah, I guess that as well, but we still don't really know how well they infected, through blood, through direct contact with.
They suggested it. The guy with the glasses that ended up torturing himself to avoid being affected. He came up with the theory that it's on a cellular level. So like a simple bloodstream of this thing getting into you would eventually imitate like a cell. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah, like a little cut
Yeah.
or within your mouth.
You would presume that would take a lot longer than when it's in its like full form and just absorbs you. But yeah, that was one of the paranoid things. Like you have to eat from a can. Don't share meals. Don't share liquids and all that stuff. So yeah, if that thing ever got onto the mainland, Earth would be completely annihilated.
Yeah, were they thinking of making the things too? Maybe where they would go to the mainland, or that just would take a completely just.
I don't know if it would be effective.
Yeah.
The whole thing that makes this work is the isolation. It is the cabin fever paranoia of it all. That's textbook 101 of any horror. You gotta put people in an isolated situation that they can't escape, so they have to face it or be conquered by it.
Yeah.
So there was a video game actually back in PS2 era that worked as a sequel to this movie.
Oh, okay.
I never played it, but apparently you are the research team that goes to the site and sees the aftermath of it. And you don't find any survivors, but you find recordings and little notes laid out everywhere. And then, of course, you extract some of the dead corpses that have been burnt. And, of course, it's the thing. And then wash, rinse, repeat. The same thing happens at
To be
your
honest, that's
base.
cool. I can see that working as a video game, but not as like another movie.
Nah.
But it can work as a video game.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think this review's gone for 40 minutes or something.
Yeah. I think we've covered pretty much everything.
Look, we usually do the
Right.
ratings, but it's like every movie that we review, it's like a classic.
Oh, it's
So
fine.
it's hard to review it.
I mean, just because it's a classic doesn't mean you're gonna like it eventually. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I see.
you might as well rate it, man. I'll tell it straight away. I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Oh yeah, it just ticks off all the boxes for what the film is trying to be. This thrill horror of like paranoia, cabin fever. It's just everything just ticks off perfectly.
I'll give it an 8 out of 10 because there was no chicks in it.
I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 because there is no chicks in it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
To me, this is example a movie that does not need it. Because what would a female character's involvement in the film do to change the outcome of the film?
no.
Like male, female doesn't matter in the circumstance of this film, right? So it was written off unnecessary. In the prequel, there's a few female characters. If you're ever interested in watching that,
No, I'm just thinking like I'm kind of comparing it. The way I'm trying to see it is like, do I like it better or worse than like Terminator 2 type thing? I remember when
Ooh.
I watched Terminator 2, I feel like I enjoyed it more, just the way things work. It's Arnold, blah blah blah. I'll stick with an 8 out of 10. I can't say 10 out of 10, but yeah, an 8.5. All right, so that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. If you watched this far, let us know what you want us to react to next, as long as it's a classic. But yeah, we'll see what we'll do next time.
boom, 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 boom.